What's up, Internetopia? This is Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, bringing you a review of my wife's amazing corn fritters. Oh my gosh, these are like corn and flour and like not much else, and you dip it in some sweet chili sauce, and it's so delicious. Mmm, this is the best thing I've eaten all day. Mmm. No, actually that's not what we're here all about. I am here to review the masterpiece. Well, actually, first of all, before I get to that, titanonetoys, my sponsor, is bringing you this review. titanonetoys is fantastic, amazing, super nice, super friendly, and his kid is getting into this too, and that's the coolest thing. He posted a picture the other day. His kid has got his own display shelf now, and I'm just like, what? I'm like a grown adult, and I don't even have my own display shelf. I just have all these drawers that all my figures go in. It's a bit sad, actually. Anyhow, today we're going to be reviewing the masterpiece, Sunstreaker. And he just came out, and he is really, really cool. This might be my favorite masterpiece. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself and maybe even spoiling my review by saying this, but this may be my favorite masterpiece. I just really, really like him. I really like the look of him. I really like the transformation. I really like the design. The engineering is just mind-boggling. So far I like everything about it. I saw a picture on the internet about a week or two before I got this figure, and it showed it in like mid-transformation. And I looked at that and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's going to be like crazy complex and like stupidly like engineered and just all this stuff, because when you think of a complex figure, like you think of figures like the G Creations Optimus Prime, just something that is just super over engineered and just more complex than fun, and I'm a guy who enjoys a bit of complexity, but I don't like for my figures to feel like a chore. So but this guy is actually none of that. But anyhow, I'm really getting ahead of myself. But here's Masterpiece Sunstreaker. He is super cool. He's real animation accurate, like Takara's been doing with their masterpieces lately. So, he's real strong on the yellows. Just a little bit of black thrown in to break that up a bit. And even some things like I felt were a little bit questionable, like the way his ears don't have the little venting details in them. Like I've seen Sunstreaker have the little vent diagram detailing in his ears for so long that it just looked weird. But since I got it in hand, like I haven't really noticed. It's just the sort of thing that just kind of went away. But let's throw in some comparisons real quick. Here he is next to the Bad Cube Sun Surge. You get him standing up straight. And it's really interesting when we first saw pictures for this, and I think I may have even mentioned it in one of my reviews. When we first saw pictures for this, I looked at that and like everyone else, I looked at that and been like, oh man, like there's so many similarities, with the fake chest and the doors on the legs and all the stuff, the even the little things like this. Like I assumed, as did many people, that Takara was ripping off the Bad Cube design, which I thought was delicious. I thought was delightful. I thought that was, third party has been spending all this time, using Hasbro Takara's intellectual property. Like it was just so tasty to me that the official Masterpiece line turned around and ripped off a third-party figure for once. But when I get this in my hand, like it's not like that at all. Like, yes, it has some similarities, the doors and the legs, the fake chest, etc., etc. But like, this doesn't really share any engineering between these at all. So I was completely blown away, and very impressed. I don't have the red side swipe, but I've got the black one, so you can kind of see what they look like. You might just imagine him being red and black instead of black and red. Yeah, like that. And I mean, they look pretty good together. You can see that there's a massive. I mean, one of the things that I enjoyed about the Sunstreaker figure is that he gets the job done with an astounding amount of simplicity. Like there's no, like it's just very simple. Like you do the, you do the things that you do, and ta-da, he's suddenly, a car, suddenly Sunstreaker, or God, I forgot his name just now. Sideswipe. Anyhow, but and even though this guy, I guess, is certainly is more, complex, and I think that aesthetically they go together very well. I think they look good as a pair. I mean, the red one more so, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, there's that for what it's worth. In terms of accessories, this guy comes with a few. He comes with Chip. Sits in his wheelchair like so. There's actually a nice amount of, let's see if my camera will do this. There's actually a nice amount of like molded in detail, like on his face and whatnot. It's just way too small to reliably paint. So they didn't, which, was the right choice, but I don't know, maybe if you're feeling like super amazing with your teeny tiny paintbrush and black paint skills, you can go and like paint his spectacles or something. I don't know. But there's something. He comes with a little Halloween mask face, which will clip on right over his regular face. And that's, that's something you can do. And then he comes with a couple alternate faces. One where he's like, and one where he's like, ha ha ha. It actually kind of looks like the old classic, theater symbol with the masks, and one of them's sad and one of them's happy. Yeah, that's them right there. And to swap them out is fairly straightforward. You just take and get like a thumbnail or something underneath his chin. Of course, it works before I was on camera. Yeah. There we go. It's loosening up. It's working. And then you just swap it in like so. Bam. And now he's all like super happy because he's, Sunstreaker, and he just loves the way he looks. And then his last thing that he comes with is this little tiny gun here. His little tiny pea shooter to go with his, big one. Because, it's not the size that matters. Even if you got a big one, it's good to have a little one in reserve. So, yeah, that's it for his accessories. Now, for posability, he's got a ball jointed head, right? Which allows for a full range of articulation. And then this section that his head is on actually swivels out. So that additional bit of movement there allows him to look like all the way up. and hella far down. Like he can look like straight down into his chest. Move his head all around. Like he's got super, super amounts of clearance. And he can do the like, yeah, funky chicken dance right there. Everybody loves a bit of funky chicken dance. And then for his arms, he's got great posability in them too. So his arms will go all the way around. And he's got an upper bicep swivel. A single joint at the elbow, but it folds just all the way up, which is really, really nice. He's got a wrist swivel, and then let me get his accessories out real quick. He's got a wrist swivel, and then he also has the wrist motion like this, which is good for like kung fu poses and stuff like that. It's also good for like being like, yeah, like that. He also, his thumb joint moves on his own, and then all of his 4 of his fingers move on a single joint as well. Also, this is great. He's got a butterfly joint. And so between the motion right here, the butterfly joint, like you can like move his arm like all around, you know? Like it only goes out this far on this joint here, you know, but you can bring it all the way the rest of the way up on this joint, you know? And so he can do some like seriously cool stuff, you know? Okay, not that really counts as seriously cool, but still. Butterfly joints. Butterfly joints are great in a figure. He's got an ab crunch. That's nice. And that is a dedicated ab crunch. That's not a transformation joint that is, you know, commandeered to be an ab crunch. Like that's straight up an ab crunch. He's got waist rotation, though it is a bit weird because on the backpack here, you've got these parts that hang down, and then he's got this little part right here. And you get much rotation out of that, and they start banging against each other. And you might want to be really careful about that because these are the spoilers, and that is the top surface of the spoiler. So yeah, spoiler alert. But I guess if you get everything out of the way, you can, you know, freely, comfortably move that all around. I get nervous about the edges of this hood section here scraping against the chrome, which I understand is already notoriously delicate on this figure. I don't know how many of you people opened it up and examined it right out of the box and said, oh, hey, there's something like tiny little scratches in there. I know this guy came with just a couple little scuffs out of the box. But there is that. He's got his hips move all the way forward, most of the way back, well, part of the way back at least. That hood gets in the way a bit. He does about 140% Van Damme right there. Like seriously, like that's like super splits right there. Like yeah, he can like plunge into battle dick first if he wants to. He's got ratcheted knees. That being said, this is ratcheted frontwards and backwards as well, but you know, soft detents on his knees, more than 90-degree spread bend on that. Very nice. He's got some ankle movability, forwards and backs, side to side, and he gets a lot of posability. He's got one of the ports on the bottom for like sticking it into like a Figma or a Damashi stand. So, I mean, he can do like flying kick poses or whatnot. Also, if you really want to, he can do footlights, you know, because footlights are always cool. Just a lot of posability on this guy, a lot of playability on this guy, a lot of just really, like this is a well-made figure, you know? Like, I mean, the Bad Cube figure is good, but like you look at the back of it and the backpack on that figure is just kind of cluttered. Whereas this one, I mean, yeah, there's a lot here. But like you've got, like it looks like it's coherent, you know, because you've got like this flat surface and this flat surface and they even line up and, you know, stuff like that. Whereas on this other guy, it's just like, those are all the parts we don't want to do anything with for the robot mode. Just looks really good. I like the way he looks. I like the way he plays. I like the way he poses. Let's get him transformed up because I like the way he transforms as well. So he's got like his transformation is, as you can see from looking at this, is fairly complex. There is a, yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a moment. And he has transformation seems to be fairly complex, but it's actually really intuitive. And once you get into it, like it's almost simple. You know, you've got like arms, legs, and backpack, and that's like the main parts that you have to worry about. Once you get all those done, it just like comes together. It's astounding. So let's get him transformed up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come down to his legs. We're going to open this part up here. That will allow us to pull out this panel right here. And that will unlock this tab right here, which allows us to pull this whole panel out. And we can extend the door right here just so that the side view mirror gets past his leg, and then we'll fold that out. And then that will go back in, and that will go back down. And then we'll worry about the toe. Oh, wait, we want to take this panel here and flip that up onto his thigh. Down here, we'll take the toe. We'll fold this out on this joint here. We'll take the wheel is on a little like double hinge inside here. We'll position around till it's, you know, flush with the side here, and take this and flip that around. And we'll close this back up, extend this back down, and there you have the leg all done, mostly. Same with the other side. So we'll extend this, push this down, double hinge on the wheel, flip his heel in, open up this panel here, open up this panel here, extend this out, extend the door out, fold that around. For some reason on this one, the side view mirror likes to come off periodically. It didn't do it today, which is good. It is really small and it is kind of delicate. The figure comes with an extra set of side view mirrors that come on like a little sprue. And so if you lose one or break one, don't worry too much, because Takara's got you covered. But they've only got you covered once. If you break it twice, then you're up a creek without a paddle. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to take these skirt armors. They do move with the leg, which is really nice, but they will also move independently of the leg, and we're going to flip them around all the way to the back, like so. And that's it for the leg. We're going to leave that right here, right now. We're going to come up here to the chest. We're going to pull up on these sides slightly, pull up on that side, on the front slightly, so this whole thing just kind of flattens out. There is a little tab. There we go. There's a little tab underneath there. And we're going to kind of pull down on this, and then while we pull up on this, and that will allow us to gently pry that free, like that. Then we're going to bring that up. While this is up, we're going to push down his head. There's nothing that stops you from pushing down the head earlier. Just while it's here, I want to do that. This is also when you're transforming back in the robot mode, when you'll need to put the head up. But take this, rotate it around, and we're going to leave that up for now. We're going to go on to his arms. His arms actually have got some fun engineering to them. So we've got this panel right here opens up, and this So he's got just the single hinge here. If you push this whole thing backwards, now you'll see it rotates up at that upper point as well. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it in on itself like that. And then we're going to take and close up his fist really tightly, tighter than you'd think a regular fist should really look. And we're going to kind of bend this. I found that this will want to be bent before you put it in. And then you just kind of push this down. And it just all puts in like that. And then you're going to turn it like this. So the hand is facing out. Rotate this 180 degrees. And that's one arm is all done. Oh, let's take this pin right here, this little peg, flip that down. So flip down this peg here, extend out his elbow joint here, just that much. Open that up, smush his fists together, bring this all in, bring this all in. You kind of got to fold this before you bring it down, like that. Then it all just goes in together. So the fist is facing out. Rotate this 180 degrees. And there's the arms. While I'm down here, what I'm going to do, well, actually, let's get to this in just a second. We're going to bend his ab crunch a bit. That'll let us get this out properly. We're going to swing this around. Its final position is going to be right here. So we got that ready. Now for the backpack. The backpack, again, you'd think it's going to be like a jumble, but it's actually pretty coherent. We're going to take this little piece here, comes and clamps on the bottom of that. We're going to just pull on that to unpeg this. And that's going to come up. And while this is coming up, we're going to pull on it and get it out, because the spoilers actually tuck in underneath the windshield here. And that helps to be efficient in the use of space. But we're undoing this now. So we're going to take this down. We're going to extend this panel up like so. And then this whole thing is going to rotate around. All right. So to do the backpack, we're going to take, and there's a joint right in here, and we're going to rotate this at that joint, right like that. Then we're going to just start pulling this apart. We're going to extend that out. These panels here will fold out like that. We're going to extend this out as far as it'll go. This panel here will fold around like this. And then we're going to rotate these so they're flat. Put these down like that. The spoilers, so you can't put them back in up on each other at the same time, because then they'll just crash into each other. So you want to put one up and then the other one up, and then move them back down, and they will mesh. And so the really wild thing about this figure is that you get to this point here, and you know, you've done the legs, you've done the arms, you've done the backpack, and it just all comes together. It's just like all of a sudden, and it's really kind of magical. So you pull the arms up like this. You push this in like so. By the way, you'll notice that there's a little gap inside there. That gap can be filled by this gun here. You can fold this down, fold this around, and then that just kind of wedges in there. For whatever reason, I'm actually not super keen on that piece of weapon storage, but I know that a lot of people really like their weapon storage. So I'm going to leave that in there for now. Pull this around. These will seat in there. Oh, I missed a step. I missed something. I didn't flip these parts up. They need to go up to get all the way past. So, yeah, whatever. Where I was at. Pull this around, sink that in. Like that, like that. Tuck this part in underneath the windshield. Like that. And then you're going to take the legs and you're going to fold it up like this. And then these pegs right here. Oh shoot, maybe I should get centered. These pegs right here are going to fold it, put in these holes right here. And then simultaneously, these pegs right here are going to go into those holes right there. So peg, peg. There's that. There's that. And then you just kind of like close the hood, close the doors. Oh, actually don't close the doors quite yet. Close these parts. Close the doors. And then just kind of mush it all together. And there is a complete car. It's really super impressive to me how it goes and you're like, okay, that looks like a robot, that looks like a robot. And you get it all transformed up and you're like, it still looks like kind of a robot. You know, there's the legs, there's the arms, there's the, you know, the backpack. And then you just kind of go, and it just all smashes right together in just like a matter of moments. It's so cool. So cool. And it is, by the way, this gloss chrome is very much a magnet. There's weapon storage on it. You can stick that gun right there. Get the old futuristic supercharged thingamajig going. And for comparison, we'll bring him in. Put that down a little bit. With the Bad Cube Sun Surge. And what do you know? They both kind of look like a Lamborghini Countach. I do like, you know, when I first saw the Bad Cube, I liked how, you know, it had like the black details and the black details and like the black details and black details, and it mixed yellow and black together really well, and I thought that it was really visually appealing. But like when you compare it with this one, there's something distinctive about it. I do think that it probably could have used some black to break it up, and I do think that that is like it's more true to how the toy looked and the character looked in the show. But I don't know. I know that there are also more things to take into account than how it looked in the show. And as much as that's a weird thing to say about a masterpiece style figure, it's really how it is. Because the thing is that, I mean, Lamborghini has already worked with Takara. They, you know, approved this figure and said, oh yeah, you know, you guys can make a Lamborghini Countach that turns into a robot. We don't really mind. And so they did, and they made this, and it's good. It's a good figure, you know. It's a great figure, actually. But this is not a real Lamborghini, you know. Lamborghini never made one with these like crazy things and there's like jet engines on the back and like, you know, all the weird things that it does. I forgot to do one thing. The spoiler slides out just a smidge to become flush with these. It's actually kind of a fun little minor detail. And so when Dakar comes back around, they're like, okay, so we made one of these. We want to make one of these now. Lamborghini's like, well, the thing is that this isn't a real car. if you want to make our car, you got to make one of our cars. You know, not some like weird bullshit, whatever this thing is. You know, because back in the '80s, like nobody really cared about asking car companies. They're just like, oh, that's a cool looking car. I think I'm gonna make a toy like that. And so Lamborghini is like, you can make one, but it has to turn into a real Lamborghini. It can't turn into this thing here, you know? Well, I mean, it's a transformer, so it transforms into different things, but it has to turn into a real Lamborghini. And so they made it so that you can fold this part away, We're going to open the doors real quick. Extend out these sections. Lift this whole part up. Oh, we're going to pop these up actually real quick. Lift this whole section up. Rotate it around. Bring these into alignment. And then fold this down. Make sure that you get this little missile thingamajig down. Push that in, push these in. Close the doors back up, push the spoiler. And now it's in its actual Lamborghini mode. And the same like actual Lamborghini as this one. And that is super cool to me. That's a fun gimmick, you know? It's something that you didn't expect. You certainly wouldn't have expected from something like this. And it's such a minor thing, and yet like this is one of the things that really impresses me most about this car, about this figure, is that, you know, it has that just extra layer of transformation thrown in. And I really like it. I really like it a whole lot. And I legitimately believe that this is I think this is one of the best masterpieces they've ever made. The last time I had this much fun playing with a masterpiece figure is probably I really am in love with the whole like transformation and whatnot of the masterpiece Ultra Magnus. That figure is an amazing figure. But yeah, I mean, this figure is great. If you need a figure to go in your collection, like if you need a Sunstreaker for your collection, this is going to be the way to go. Now, that being said, this is also a $120 figure, and don't get me wrong, like it shows, like you mess with this figure and you understand why it is that it costs $120 or $135 or whatever your particular favorite company is charging for it. You know, it shows. This is a figure with a lot of engineering. This is a figure with a lot of parts, a lot of detail. And I think it's worth every penny. But I honestly feel that if you already have a Sunsurge, I don't know that this is necessarily worth replacing, because this is a very, very good looking Sunstreaker. You know, it's highly posable and it's highly detailed. It comes with the same like wheelchair boy. You know, it hits all of the same points, and it hits them well enough that I don't know that you would necessarily need this for your collection unless you are infatuated, as I am, with this particular figure right here. And I think that's really where I'm going to have to go with this, is that, like, this is a good figure. This is a better figure. Don't get me wrong. This is a better figure. But I mean, you know, if you've already paid $80 for this, I don't know that this is worth another $120 on top of that. Like, this isn't a $200 worth of cool, you know? And maybe you can sell this and recoup some of it. But the thing is that right now with this being released, like everybody's moving to this, and you know, the bad cubes are going to be, or the sun searches are going to be, you know, cheaper to get. This may be, if you're not particularly infatuated with this may be the perfect time to get a sun surge, you know. So a couple things to keep in mind. Ultimately, as I go back to always, you know, you gotta evaluate your collection, decide what it is that you want, because ultimately it is your collection and you're the one collecting it, and you're the one who, you know, decides what you need and what you want and what's going to work best for you. And so I like this figure. I'm going to give him like the old, like 2 thumbs up. He's at least like, I would at least, you know, I'm not going to start grading figures because then it's going to open up a whole new can of worms, but I'll give him 2 thumbs up for sure. Just fantastic figure. It's well made, and jeez, that gloss does not mess around when it comes to collecting fingerprints. But anyhow, this is Acamus Prime signing off. Everybody, you rock. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I know this is a little bit longer than normal. Just came off of my unofficial hiatus, and I'm rambling again. I need to put myself back in the habit of not rambling. But you guys are all awesome. Be good to each other, and I'll see you later.